Welcome to Real Herbalism Radio, coming to you from River Road Studios. Today's show is sponsored by Occupy Medical.
Occupy Medical is a free integrated health clinic in Springfield, Oregon. You can find us on the web at occupy-medical.org. And just remember, we are a 501c3 organization. We help with integrated health, and we are a free clinic. And we're full of love. So make sure you write out those donations, and we will send you a tax receipt.
Get healthy now with Candace.
Get healthy now with Candace, connecting people with plants to transform lives. As the old year wraps up and the new year starts off, I bet you y'all are looking to get your healthcare goals met this year, right?
Sure, I am.
I would love to work with you. I am accepting new clients. If you'd like to learn more, contact me through gethealthynowwithcandace.com.
And Hunter Creation, if you're looking to get your business cards or brochures or posters, banners printed, Hunter Creation can help you save a lot of money, and they usually beat Vistaprint. So if you're looking for good printing prices, contact huntercreation.com.
That's all you new herbal businesses, too, over this next year. You're going to need printing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you'll need
That's
printing.
For sure.
And Vistaprint, it's not necessarily your friend.
No, they did a really great job of selling my email. Lots of places. Great. I did not appreciate that.
No, bad.
Right. Y'all didn't do that for me, though, so that's why we're using
Let Hunter
y'all.
Creation do it. They'll do it right.
All right. Sue Lupe.
Sierra Lupe Herbal Consulting is my personal herbal consulting business, and my specialty is working with existing diagnosis and medication, although I have patients that come in that don't have existing medication, and I help supplement whatever the things are that you've got going in your life to achieve a healthier lifestyle. You can reach me at Sierra Lupe Herbal Consulting at gmail.com.
Yes. And remember, Sue's really, really good at connecting and talking with doctors and speaking their language. So if you're concerned about the herbs that you want to use and you want to make sure that the doctor respects that, Sue will be your person.
That's right. I speak doc.
All right. Ace High Heat Graphics. If you're looking for custom and printed shirts or hats, they've got you covered. If you're looking for a great way to fundraise for your organizations, they can offer you a one-color white shirt at $5.25, which allows you to turn around and sell it for a whole lot more. So if you have any fundraising needs, contact acehighheatgraphics.com or sales@acehighheatgraphics.com.
Oh, and don't forget that you will also be supporting youth, because that's actually a youth-owned business.
That's right.
It is.
It is a youth-owned business. Herbal Nerd Society, guys.
The Herbal Nerd Society is my favorite group of folks.
Yes, they are fabulous.
They are wonderful.
Yep.
The Herbal Nerd Society is our collective society for teaching and sharing great information on herbs. They support us by paying a small monthly membership fee, and we support them in their herbal studies by creating and writing on different herbs each month.
Yep. We focus on one herb a month, which we've said over and over again. That's the best way to learn herbs. Just take one and focus on it and make it your friend.
And for those of you who've tried that and then say, oh my God, so I got to know these 5 herbs really well, but I really don't know how to formulate with them. We write articles every month on formulation for working with the specific herb that we're working with. And once you get to know it really well, here's some ideas for how to formulate with it.
Using it energetically. We'll pick one of the chemical constituents and talk about that one. And then you find when we're talking about another herb, it'll have a similar chemical in it. And then you're interlacing your knowledge through the months so that you understand how these herbs work with our bodies even better. It's pretty fun. And just a basic introduction that Candace specializes in every time is nice, so that you're not lost in this herbal world. You have a helping hand along the way.
And in that introduction, we usually source videos that are beyond the practical herbalist. So you kind of get an idea of some other potential herbal teachers that might be good ones to look at. And a thought on whether or not this might be an herb you can grow.
That's right.
Other benefits are access to all of the past podcasts that you can stream from your iPhone or phone or your computer. and also typically an advertising free readability on the website.
Yep.
I had a whole different sentence to say there, but it didn't work out. So yeah, ad free viewing. There you go.
Ad-free viewing.
So for $49.99 a month, or $49.99 for the year.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
And $4.99 a month, you can become a member and support the Practical Herbalist and Real Herbalism Radio.
Yep.
All right. So on with the show. All right, guys. Show 167, our Herb Lab on milk thistle. And we had Yaakov Levine in the studio, and we talked all about milk thistle, which I thought was an interesting topic. I didn't know that he was. It just seemed it's a good topic, but I didn't know it would be like this time of year topic.
Well, it's funny because I didn't know what we were going to be talking about. He said, "We're going to talk about milk thistle." I'm like, really? Okay. But it was a terrific discussion. It's always a great discussion with him.
Yeah,
so.
he's an interesting guy. And I know he's got his thing about nutritional coaching and therapy practitioner. But I know him as a herbalist. I mean, that's how I first met him. We worked at an herb company together.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we go much further than this, now, here are your hosts, Candace Hunter and Sue Sierra Lupe.
I'm Candace Hunter.
And I'm Sue Sierra Lupe.
And welcome to Real Herbalism Radio.
Okay, great. So, Sue, how do you know?
Yeah, I do know that Yaakov Levine. He's a hell of a guy. Yep.
No.
Yeah, I've known him for many, many years. 20 years. I've known him for 20 years. Yeah.
It's a couple decades.
Mm-hmm. I know that because I, shortly after meeting him, got pregnant with Aaron.
Whoa, what are you saying?
Yeah, actually.
What are you
that
saying?
sounded a little sketchy there. What are you implying, Sue?
Well, Aaron isn't balding and doesn't speak Brooklyn, so maybe.
No. And Aaron does look an awful lot like his father.
Yeah.
All right.
6'2". Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was weird. So he was a good ally for me because the company that we worked at together was not what you would call pregnant person friendly.
Yeah.
So there were a number of people that were good allies for me, and he was among them.
Good.
And his wife was super sweet. So, she'd walk through the door and take a look at me and go, "You need a hug?" So they're good people. Yeah. And here years later, this last year, his wife was teaching an art class. And it was for children, and so I brought my granddaughter to it.
Yay!
Yep, she's wonderful with children. Amazing. Nice. So yes, there's my history with him. Yeah. So I know him as an herbalist. That is the way I have been introduced to him, and we've sat around a lot and talked about different plants. And now that I think about it, with his experience with kidney cancer and then some of the other things that he's been going through, the milk thistle
makes a lot of sense.
It really does.
Yeah.
So, of course, he also has that thing where the people that come through his door and that he serves, that's where his primary focus is. Many of us become herbalists because we ourselves get ill.
Right.
And then we become better herbalists because we serve others.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the same thing for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I decided to do my own milk thistle experiment just because it's an herb I haven't worked much with, and he really changed my mind about whether or not it's a wise thing to be using regularly. So I was like, well, I ordered up some powder, got myself some powder, and I decided to start taking it.
Yeah.
And I have not, it's only been like a week. So, and I haven't taken it consistently every day because a couple of days I forgot. The first day I tried it, I was like, oh, this tastes horrible. And then the next day I really liked the flavor, and I found since I've really liked the flavor.
Like you got past the bitter part and you went into the more the nutty.
Yeah. Well, and the first day I took it, I've been having, dare I say it, night sweats. It's that time.
It's okay. You can say that to me.
It is that time. So I've been having that for several months now. And it's like probably a textbook thing where it's covers on, covers off, covers on, covers off, like every 20 or 30 minutes all night long.
Right.
It's really irritating.
It's like Karate Kid, except not wax on, wax off.
Yeah, it's covers on, covers off.
That's right.
Yeah, it's been less than pleasant.
Yep.
And so I decided I was like, well, maybe this will help. Mm-hmm. And I noticed the first night that I took it in the evening before bed. Then I went to bed and had problems, had a covers on, covers off, but it wasn't as bad or as frequent. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, it's just this night, because some nights are worse than others, right?
Sure.
What I've noticed over this week is that every day that I take it or night that I take it, that night sleeping after taking it sometime during the day is a better night's sleep. I still have night sweats, I still have but it's not as many and it's not as intense as the nights when I don't take it.
Right.
And right now, that's the only herb that I'm taking, because I was taking one set of formulas that were working, but then there was a big giant cold virus, and I just haven't reestablished that formula. And I'm not entirely sure it's the right formula for me at the moment anyway. So
you might still jimmy it, like throw burdock or something like that into it.
Yeah.
So the thing that I know is that your liver is instrumental in processing hormones.
Oh, yeah.
So while you're going through some hormonal issues, then working on your liver is very, very important. And working with trans people, helping them support we're not trying
they
to
need a lot
quote,
of
unquote,
support for
detox, but support while their body is adjusting to the hormones that they're taking during that transitional time.
Yeah. Well, their bodies are flooded with hormones.
Yep.
For that time. Yeah.
Yeah. And endocrinologists have a tendency to do more like one size fits all with the IM injections and different things like that. And I frankly tend to see gender as more of a spectrum as well. Some people have more estrogen than other people naturally.
Right.
And wherever your comfort level is with how you have your hormones, I think that's what's important. If you feel good with it. We've had people come in that have said, well, I'm really on the low end of testosterone, and my endocrinologist would like me to take more, but I feel good here. Yeah. So I'm like, well, there you go.
There you go.
You found your magic place, my friend.
Yep. Own your power.
That's right. That's right. So it feels good to have things where people are able to make their liver healthy, their kidneys healthy, their hormones, like the whole thing feels good. And teenage times is another one of those issues.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely. And if you want to avoid autoimmune diseases developing, it would be wise to really take good care of your kidneys and your liver and your hormonal system in general. So this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And balancing it with things like turmeric, dandelion, burdock, those are my three favorites to blend it with. I find that it is just easier on the system. So
I've been thinking about blending it. If I decide to add a formula, I've been thinking about adding like some licorice root, because it's a good, generally supportive one.
Estrogen balance too. Good idea. And spearmint in there too.
Yeah. And I've also been thinking about working with some motherwort for it. I don't have a lot of the signs of serious heat, but I know that can build for myself quickly.
Sure.
And that's part of the formula I was taking, was about cooling the heat and getting, so supporting the liver so that it could do its work well, and helping the kidneys to be able to drain, kidney and bladder system to be able to drain properly, and to not drain quickly like dandelion really drains. Dandelion, burdock both are like very quickly draining.
Yeah. Goodbye edema.
Yeah, exactly. Fast. And for me, that it wasn't as much that I needed to drain fast as I needed to just keep things moving. And so I was working with herbs that were more about just circulate. Yeah.
What about hawthorn?
That's not one that I've been working with specifically for hot flashes, but it is a really good herb for keeping things moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I've been trying to be more flexible with my, I have a routine. There's a certain population that I work with, and the people come in with there's variations, but
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like, oh, it's diabetes day or whatever.
Right, yeah.
And so you get these, like, this works, and so
Yeah.
it works for this person and it's working for this person, but looking at these herbs differently and kind of learning new ways to work with them has been really fun. And hawthorn is so flexible, but I'm just like, oh, high blood pressure. I just throw that at somebody and it'll be fine. Right. And it is. And it's
helpful, yeah.
But there's so many other things that it works for.
Yeah. Well, I think pairing hawthorn with motherwort for high blood pressure makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a really good one.
Yeah. And anybody that notices their blood pressure is fluctuating, any kind of palpitations, of course. But I know that motherwort it's supposed to be really great after you give birth and you get the postpartum depression. Yeah. Because it also helps with anxiety and depression.
Yeah, and it helps tighten the tissues up.
Right.
So that they will, like, depression is, when you have depression, one of the things that depression can be linked to is lax tissues. So the tissues have too much water and they're not toned. And motherwort helps tone your uterus and your lower abdomen up again after, after childbirth, which is rather traumatic for that area.
It's very traumatic.
Yeah. So it helps to like tone that back up and get things moving in a proper harmony again, which can therefore alleviate depression, because depression it isn't always, but it can be your body's or your emotional mind state trying to send up the warning signal that, well, there's something not right here. And it can just be your body, your uterus is depressed.
Right.
You're depressed, meaning it's lax. It needs to tone.
Yeah.
And motherwort can help with that.
Yep. We're not saying that childbirth isn't natural.
No.
Throwing up is also natural, but it's very traumatic.
Well, yeah. When you think about it, sex is pretty violent. It's a violent thing. That doesn't mean it's bad, but it's kind of a violent thing. And childbirth also.
Yep.
Kind of a violent thing.
Extremely painful.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not bad. Just.
Yep. That's the way it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Oh my goodness. All right. So let's get back to the liver, shall we? And our lovely milk thistle.
Yes. So how have you been using milk thistle?
Well, the blends, like I was talking about, has just been, normally I would give out milk thistle and dandelion, like, because we see a lot of hepatitis C.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're giving a lot of people dandelion and milk thistle. And I have been recently throwing turmeric into that mix. And it's really helped people also with the nausea accompanying hep C.
Okay.
So for people that have constant nausea, I've given them an extra little dose if they're getting a tincture of a mint, one of the mints, whatever their favorite might be.
Oh, okay.
And that just the taste of that helps deal with the initial nausea, like the people that the nausea comes all the way to the top of their mouth.
Ooh, yeah.
And then particularly if people have been drinking a lot, they have a lot of issues with their esophagus.
Yeah.
The alcohol's burned.
Yeah. Damage to the esophagus.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So those are the kind of blends that I've been experimenting with. And then, of course, I'm throwing for people that have alcohol issues and hepatitis or liver concerns. I was throwing kudzu in there because that helps with the cravings. So I know there's a lot of other herbs that help with that, but those are the ones I have easy access to, and
that makes a difference. Having
fabulous.
Yeah. A lot of times, what's close at hand is what you need to really look to first.
Yep. And the new thing for me is using just the powder. Like, how are you using the powder?
So the first night I took it, I tried a little taste of it, didn't like it, and put it into some capsules.
Okay.
And that worked okay.
Right.
And then I tried that the second night too. And then the third night I was too lazy to put it in capsules. I admit it. I really admit it.
So you just took a mouthful?
So I stuck it into a hot chocolate. I decided I would make hot chocolate for myself. So I did that. And it actually was really quite good in there.
Huh.
And then on one of the other nights, one of the other times I took it, I put it into it was like late and I didn't want to make anything and I just wanted to go to bed. So I took a teaspoon of it, put it in the bottom of a cup, added enough water to make it.
Like a gruel?
Yeah, like a gruel.
Oh,
so
Lord
there
have
was like,
mercy.
I put like maybe 3 ounces of water. It wasn't a lot. And I chugged it down. And then I used more water to rinse it out. So I got most of the powder into my body. So it was probably ultimately like 6 ounces because I had to drink it several times to get it. It actually tasted good.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
It wasn't like drinking a cup of glue.
No, it wasn't. I didn't spend time mixing it up really well either.
Okay.
So I just kind of dumped it in and got it, just working it enough so that it was wet and it would go. Because otherwise, if I just took just the powder, the very first time I tried some of just the powder, yeah, it kind of got stuck. It didn't move past my tongue. Like, I'm going to have to drink a lot of water to make that work.
Work.
Yes.
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 That would be horky. Yeah, I can see how that would be bad. So for if you want to make a glycerite, this is the other new thing is we're working on a formula that is a syrup formula because a lot of people,
the alcohol's not great for them.
The alcohol's not great for them, and that's pretty potent way of taking it though. And then
it's
capsules,
also expensive. Yeah,
right.
The alcohol gets very expensive.
Yeah. So we ran into a person that also has trouble, can't take alcohol, and also has trouble with capsules.
Yeah, some people have a hard time when they swallow capsules. It feels like they get stuck in their throats.
Yeah,
and that's not cool.
Yeah,
that makes you not want to take them.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So, I was talking to them about putting it, you get like a little bit of white bread, you know, the old fashioned pills that you used to make.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So you just roll the powder into that and then
take that and then you can eat it.
Nibbling on it. So you don't have to swallow it. It's not like a bread pill, but you can just eat it. Yeah. And it's a little bit gritty, but you can go down, that's okay. So making, a syrup is what I'm making, but it could be glycerite too, of taking the seed and like the regular seed and then crushing that in your mano y metate, just enough to like break up the seed a little bit, and then putting the putting that in water, bringing that up to just before boil, and adding the dandelion roots slivered in that. And then and then covering it so it's like a decoction. Yeah. And letting that sit on the back burner for a long time. In my case, it'd probably be a slow cooker.
Yeah, I was going to say a slow cooker probably would do that really well. Yeah.
So, and then after at the end of the day, usually I'm thinking I'll come back from work and then straining it out and then adding the one part of that decoction to 5 parts of the honey.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And that should be pretty good.
Should taste really good.
Yeah.
Be nice and sweet. Yeah.
Yeah. People won't have problems taking that.
No, not at all. Yeah. And as you were talking about it, I was like, wow, if you were making a peanut butter sandwich, you could sprinkle that on your peanut butter sandwich and then just eat the sandwich. That would actually blend in
dry.
The powder would blend in really well with a peanut butter sandwich.
Like crunchy style.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and if you had it all powdered already, then it's broken down. So it's ready to digest easily.
Yeah.
So that would work well for some of the folks that you're working with that have access to peanut butter sandwiches.
Sure.
That could be a really simple.
The unhoused eat a lot of peanut butter.
Yeah.
I wonder
because the
if you
flavors
could just
would blend very nicely.
Sure, have a powder and then put that in with, because it sops up that oil.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
So that could be another idea.
Right.
The syrup will probably taste a lot better.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It'd be nice and sweet.
The whole point is it's going in their mouth.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes it's just however can you get it in.
Yeah.
You know, I mean.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Definitely.
What works.
Whatever works. That's what you got to do.
Yep.
Yeah. I've also been wondering about turning it into little pellets, how to do that. And I'm going to have to check that out and then get back to you all about it.
Like tea pellets like they do.
Exactly.
I have worked with tea pellets.
Have you made them?
I have. And the one that I did, I wasn't really satisfied with. First, you make a tea powder. So you make a decoction that you pretty much don't strain. I think you strain out like half of the herb, but you leave some in. So like the milk thistle, if I was doing a tea powder with that, I would just leave the powdered, really well powdered milk thistle, half of the powder in the water. And then you pretty much like keep reducing it. It gets really, really concentrated. And you reduce it down to the point where it becomes like a paste. And then you just smooth that out onto, like, in your dehydrator, that like
Mhm.
absolutely cool dehydrator you have. Just like
Yep.
smooth that onto a plastic or like a parchment paper, a paste, and dehydrate it until it becomes completely dry. And then you break it up and you have the tea powder.
Oh.
And then if you want to turn that into like a pill, you could add honey to it if you want to make it sweet and more palatable. There's a couple different gums that you can try also.
Gums?
Yeah, like a xanthan gum, I think. And I think xanthan is one of the ones. There's actually, Thomas Easley talks about making tea pill concentrates or tea pills on one of his lessons in the art and science of plant medicine making.
Yeah.
So that would be something you could look up. But in the book, he talks about it. And then I also saw instructions for it in one of Michael Tiara's books. I think that was The Way of Chinese Herbs, but I can't remember for sure which one of his. But I saw his instructions as well.
Right.
So, yeah. I wasn't able to powderize. If you're using whole herbs that didn't go in as a powder in the first place, then you have to, when you get down to the point where you're going to take out half the dry material or half the mark and then leave the other half in, the stuff you leave in, you're supposed to blender it really well. And the time I did it, I was doing it with some really fibrous roots. I don't remember which ones they were. So it didn't chop up well enough.
Right.
So that's why I wasn't really satisfied with it.
Yeah.
And I've intended to go back and do it again, but I haven't.
Well, Jim Duke, like Yaakov mentioned this, he's got a recipe out there it's like coffee beans and milk thistle and a couple of other things that he puts in there to help people deal with recovering from alcoholism. And you just put that, you put that in your coffee maker.
Yeah.
So he's given people that mix, and then they just put it in their grinder. Make that sound, not with your mouth like I just did, but with the actual machine. And then you pour it in, and then I don't know what that would taste like, but
pretty much making coffee with it.
Yeah,
it's probably not that different from chicory coffee. I bet it's got a similar flavor to the Southern style.
Might, chicory and roasted dandelion root.
Yeah. Like when I've seen or watched people. I don't drink coffee, but I've watched them mix half coffee beans and half chicory coffee, so half roasted chicory and dandelion. I bet you it's similar to that.
Probably. And the making it, if you're having trouble with that and y'all are trying it out and you're just going, man, this is just like gas station decaf, it's horrible, then you can throw in some cinnamon. That'll make it a little more robust.
Yeah, cinnamon kind of fixes a lot of things, doesn't it?
Yes, it certainly does. And that is our herb of the month in December.
Yes, we love cinnamon.
So nice thing about it tastes good and it'll help you balance that blood sugar problem you get. Yep, that is for sure. Yeah, there's a couple of things that we wanted to notice about milk thistle. And that is that it does have, according to Mosby's Handbook of Herbs and Natural Supplements, it doesn't have any adverse reactions with food or with other herbs, but it should not be used with drugs metabolized by the P450 enzyme. So if that's one of your issues, I'm sorry, my friends, you're going to have to take old milk thistle off your list. But other than that, there isn't anything here that I'm seeing for counterindications other than the standard stuff if you're hypersensitive to it, because it is in the Asteraceae family, or pregnancy. They always say pregnancy and don't give it to kids and don't take it if you're lactating. And the reason why they always have that is because they just don't have enough studies to prove it's safe. They don't have studies to prove it's not safe, but they don't have studies to prove it's safe either. So that's why you always see that.
Right. So if you're not sure whether the drugs or the pharmaceuticals you're taking are metabolized by the
P450 enzyme.
P450 enzyme, I strongly encourage you to go and ask your pharmacist. If the drug you're taking are metabolized by your liver, my guess is there's a pretty good chance that they could be. So check the side effects listings
Yep.
And usually drugs that are metabolized by the liver will have some kind of warning about could become toxic to your liver.
Mm-hmm.
So check for that, but also talk to your pharmacist.
Yep.
And make sure you get that. Again,
P450 enzyme. So, and
I'm repeating it because I would forget.
okay.
So write that down, people.
Write it down.
P450 enzyme.
Right.
And ask pharmacist.
And a lot of pharmacists do know about this one because Silymarin is one of those very famous herbs from years ago. It's not new to them, and they often will sell it in their pharmacies too.
Right.
So you're not giving them anything new.
Right. Well, and they, pharmacists are trained. The words, is this drug metabolized by the P450 enzyme?
Right.
Should be enough for them. They should be able to say yes or no. And then you have your answer about whether milk thistle is appropriate for you.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. And the RX list also online will say as well. So, but other than that, it's great for helping support your liver, and it's got a little bit of bitterness, so digestion in general. And I think the world of that herb. I've been using it for so long. I think that my problem is I haven't been using it as creatively as I could.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have to be better about combining it into more formulas. And
we have to thank Yaakov for that.
Yes, thank you, Yaakov. He's not here, but we are. Well, I'm waving to him wherever he might be.
He's sitting at his computer right now listening to this podcast.
Sure, that's what he's doing. Howdy, howdy. Yep.
Now it's time for a little Herbal 101, guys. We had a question from Crystal. She writes, "Hello, do you know if it is safe and or healthy to eat the stems or woody portion of the thyme herb if they are diced up? I often use thyme in cooking and the little stems frequently end up in my cooking. Thank you." So, Sue, Candace, can eat the stems.
I admit I have eaten many a stem due to lazy cutting on my part.
Kill you dead.
Yep.
Kill you dead.
Yep.
No, it won't kill you dead.
They're not as, the woodier they get, the older the stem gets, or the thicker, harder the stem gets, the less enjoyable it is on the palate, but it's not going to kill you.
Nope. In fact, when we make herbal medicine in the commercial, like in a commercial setting, then you just get the top half of the plant, the aerial part, and you just throw that into your giant vat-o, whatever.
Yes.
If you're making like a tea or something, then they're getting a little more refined, and it is mostly leaves. It's not all leaves.
Right.
There are little bits of stem, but it's, you can get some of the thymol, which is the volatile oil in the thyme, in the stem as well as the leaf, but the majority of it is going to be in the leaf, and you want to, of course, for those that do not know, get it before it has bloomed or budded.
Yeah, it's best when it's before it's bloomed or budded, and it's the softer, more greener parts.
That's
like
right.
Even in the stem, the more greener stem is going to have more essential oil than the more woodier, older stem.
Yep, but it could kill you if you eat like a whole stick of it and it gets stuck in your throat.
That could,
Oh, geez,
like a fish
You don't want to do that.
No.
Like a fish bone.
If you want to use it for cooking, which it sounds like that's what she's doing, start at the top and pull down. That motion will strip all the leaves off the stem. And
so
the very top of the...
Pinch the top edge of the stem.
Pinch the top edge and then just go...
Dry your other hand down.
Top to bottom, and that'll pull all of the leaves off. Yeah. And then that very part that you were pinching, just pinch with the fingers and that'll come off. And then there's no...
Flick it at people.
Yeah, there's no cutting of the stem. There's no... if you're going to use it for, a culinary application or cooking, then that's preferable. That's the preferable method.
Yes.
If you're going to use it for making medicine, then, like you said, the aerial parts are fine. So,
and it's really fun to put if you've got a cold and you have a vaporizer.
Oh yeah, you could just throw the whole chunks in there.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
So don't you worry about it. Yeah. But you could take your eye out with a stem. Don't do that. Don't stick it in your nose. Don't stick it in your ear.
Yeah, that is true.
Don't stab people with it. But other than that, it's fine. Try not to. Yeah,
it's antiseptic, so.
It might be like a clean one, like a
A
In
clean
Star
stab wound.
Wars, when they cut off somebody's arm, it just immediately heals.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe that's... Wow, I'm getting quite the look from Patrick.
Yeah.
That is not the look of approval.
He does not approve. Definitely.
Okay.
You never say these things when someone's asking if you're safe or not. You just bypass all of the possibility of someone misconstruing what you said.
See how safe we are?
I
We're
mean,
being super careful.
Yes.
geez.
You're
Now,
welcome.
now, and in a future far, far away.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yep.
Well,
Did that answer it? Should we go on?
no, I think what we said is it's safe.
It's safe. It is safe. And that's a great question.
Enjoy your cooking, Crystal.
Yep.
All right. And with that, guys,
Put an herb on it.
the statements made about herbs and products on this podcast have not been evaluated by the United States Food and Drug Administration, FDA, and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. All information provided on this podcast or any affiliated websites is for informational purposes only and is not intended as a substitute for advice from your physician or other healthcare professional. You should not use the information on this podcast and its affiliated websites for a diagnosis or treatment of any health problem. Always consult with a healthcare professional before starting any new vitamins, supplements, diet, or exercise program before taking any medication, or if you have or suspect you might have a health problem. Any testimonials, questions, or case studies are based on individual results and do not constitute a guarantee that you will achieve the same results.